Hi, my name's Chris Brookman from Back to Earth, and in this how-to video we're going to look at how to apply the render to wood fibre. Now, you start with the windows. The windows and the doorways are the most critical areas, they're also the most awkward areas. So the best thing to do is to actually start with the reveals around windows and doors and get those sorted first so that you've then got the whole blank canvas of the front of the wall to render. The first thing we do is fix the late strips, they're called, or APU rails. Now, this is a bead which actually has a self-adhesive strip on it which fixes straight to the front of the window. There's a self-adhesive strip along there. You peel that off, that fits to the window, and then this mesh is actually bedded then in the plaster. So we'll put these on first. In this application we actually fit the sides first. So we've got some sides which are cut here to fit in this window reveal. So we take the self-adhesive strip off the back, off the sponge piece there. It's important that the windows are clean. So if you've got PVC, use a good quality PVC cleaner. If you've got timber windows, use a cloth and some water and actually really clean any dirt off and let it dry. And then these will stick to the window. So we get these as tight as we possibly can right in this corner here and press them firmly into the corner like we have there, leaving that piece sticking out. So that is now firmly stuck to the window. And we do the same on the other side. It goes right up into the top corner and right into the corner as tight as you can get it. And then we put the top piece in. And so that's fixed like so. Okay, so that's the first thing to get in. We've got the late strips in, the APU rails, and we've obviously got to trim off the excess mesh, so simply cut that down with a Stanley knife, sharp knife, like so. And then the next thing that needs to be put in position are the 3D corners. Now these again have got rather a lot of mesh on them for the depth of reveal that we've got, so we need to cut those back and they will fit in the top corners like that. There we go, trimmed back, and these will fit neatly in the corners like that. So the next thing to cut ready are your corner beads. The corner beads are not a conventional corner bead in as much as they don't have a piece that sticks out that you actually plaster to. They are really just a reinforcement bead which sits in the corner and actually reinforces the corner of the plaster, and you form your own corners. Okay, so again in this case we're going to have to trim back some of that so they actually fit correctly in the corners, but essentially that's what we're doing, like so. Okay, so our corners are cut, and that is going to fit in there, and that one is going to fit in there, like so. Okay, so next thing is to put some render in there. So we're going to apply some render to the reveal. We hold the mesh back and put the plaster behind it. I really set myself up with a fiddly reveal here, so you can see just how awkward I can make it for myself. We've got render around the reveal then, and we also want to put some render just in the top corners so that we can actually bed the beads in. So again we'll put just a smear up there just to hold those beads in. So we take the beads, we pop them in, try and get them behind the mesh that's on the APU rails. Put that nicely in there, and then just trowel that into position so that it's held there. And the same with the other corner. Quite in the right place. So you can move mesh around slightly as you put it in so you can get it in the right place. Try not to snag it on the rest of the mesh that's on the APU rails. The next thing to put in then are the corner beads. So again, you want a little bit more plaster just up to the edges. Oops, just to take your corner beads. This is really just to help them stick in position, and it's also worth putting some of the render into the actual beads as well, just to help them stick in position. Bead cut to the right length, bit of the render in the bead, and then simply push that into position. Try not to snag on all the rest of the meshes that are in there. Just get that in position like that. And then just smooth that into position. Again, you want to put a level on this or a straight edge just to ensure that you've got it in the right place. But essentially all we're doing is setting the beads and actually doing the reveals, getting them ready in advance before you do the rest of the wall. Now on this APU rail that we fixed to the window, you can see that I'm troweling up against it. There's a sort of a step on it which allows you to run your trowel along and make sure you've got the render at the right depth. And then you run over the top of the bead, obviously taking any excess off. And so it's quite a nice, easy way to actually get a nice, flat, straight reveal. Okay, so then we fix that into there. Try not to cut it too tight into the corners because it just makes it more difficult to actually fit. Press that into position. And then again finish along the top of your window head. Now you may have noticed on these beads we've actually got a yellow strip there. And that is actually another peel-off self-adhesive piece which allows you to stick a piece of plastic over the window whilst you're working, and so obviously keep the window clean. And that piece actually snaps off after we're done. So again, the APU rail allows you to, have a bit of unevenness in the plaster, a bit of mess on the edge, and then when you peel it off, you end up with a very nice, sharp, clean, crisp edge. Now, when you're bedding these beads in, you don't want to be bedding that in. You're literally just setting the angles in. You want to be leaving the flaps free to bed into the main plaster, so that helps with overlapping onto the main mesh and keeps the whole thing strong. These corner pieces, they can be bedded in just on the first layer. That's how we get the first layer of beads in. You've got your corner beads, you've got your APU rail, your late strip on the actual window frame, all that set and ready to go. So when we come along, we can simply flip that mesh back, we can put our main plaster in, bed that in, and then connect it to the main mesh as well. So that's basically how you do a reveal. The same applies for doors, the heads are the same. Obviously it's a bit of a difference at the sill.